to page 169 in your grammar books. 169. It's a review page, so that's nice. Reviewing verbs here. Page 169. Okay. There's three different types of verbs that we use in English. One of them is action verb, and that shows action. We already know what that one is. A linking verb links the subject to a noun or adjective. Okay, that's what a linking verb's job is. A helping verb helps an action verb or a linking verb. Okay, so a lot of times if it's next to an action verb, then it's a linking or a helping verb. Sorry, let me see her text really quick. In the joining meeting screen, oh, she's having trouble with her internet. Okay. That's such a bummer, when your internet goes, it's not cooperating. She says it's windy. And if you don't have like a certain type of internet, if it's like a dish, the weather affects it. So anyway, keep these in mind, especially linking verb and helping verb, these definitions up here. This is going to help you answer these questions below. So it says circle the correct answers. Each statement has two correct answers. So first, we're talking about an action verb. If we look back at the definition of an action verb, it does say it shows action or ownership. So we can mark A, that it can be a strong verb. You guys know about strong verbs. You use those in your writing, right? A verb that shows action, that's considered a strong verb. And then D always expresses ownership or action. And that's what it says up here in the definition. Okay, so the answer for the first one is A and D. The next one, a linking verb can be followed by, if you look back at the top here next to linking verb, it says linking verbs links the subject to a noun or an adjective. And so we can mark that, C and D. The linking verb can be followed by a noun or an adjective. It links those two types of words together. And then a helping verb can be followed by, looking back at the definition here, it says a helping verb helps an action verb or a linking verb. And that's A and B, an action verb or a linking verb. I'm just giving you the answers today on this, so. This part we're going to take turns with, so I'll start with Alex. It says circle H for helping or L for linking to identify the underlined verbs in the following sentences. So Alex, you can start by just reading the sentence and then tell me if you think it's helping or linking. Read the sentence first.
I think
out loud.
it's a linking verb.
It is a linking. Go ahead and read the sentence out loud to us too.
That is a fine shot.
That is a fine shot. And you're right, it is a linking because it's followed by the noun shot. And it's a linking verb. It's linking that to shot. And that is referring to the shot. So it's linking those two words together. Good. So then Natalia, go ahead and read the sentence first and then tell me if you think it's helping or linking.
That's the finest I have ever beheld.
Good.
And I think it's
These are a little tricky. I'll give you a clue here. You have this verb be held. So it's whenever you have a verb
Linking?
next to it, it's actually a helping verb because it's helping the verb be held. Be held is also a verb. So it's linking those two together. So if you see another verb in there, that's usually an indication that it's a helping verb. If you don't see another verb, it's usually a linking verb. So try the next one. Jason, read the sentence and then tell me what you think it is.
Both archers would gladly compete at the next tournament.
Okay. Do you see another verb in this sentence? Compete. That's a verb. So does that mean it's helping or linking?
Probably linking.
It's actually helping because whenever you see a verb like compete and would, because they're both verbs, that's going to help that verb. Have helps be held. Maybe it's going to be a little easier if we label it. These two help each other. This one does not have another verb in the sentence. It's just the verb here is. So whenever you have a verb by itself like this, that one's going to be linking. So how about Ian? What about the last sentence? Go ahead and read it and tell me what you think it is.
Both are skillful.
Good. Are is the verb, but what kind of a verb is that? Is there another verb with it?
A linking verb.
It's a linking. Good, because there's no other verb with it. So it's not helping another verb. It's just by itself. So that means it's linking. Hopefully that helps a little bit. What's confusing though is that those words can be the same. So linking and helping verbs can be is, are, has, had, be, been. Those types of words are all either one. Do you guys have any questions about this page? Okay. Let's turn to the practice page. And Matt, I'm going to have you read this page. I need you to turn your cameras on. Matt and Ian, keep your cameras on, please.
Then Robin Hood and his entire band howled with delight. After a moment, the stranger, who silently watched them, slowly smiled.
Okay, good. And our vocabulary word is howled. And it's not like a wolf howling or a dog howling. This is actually referring to what the band is doing. And they're howling in delight. It kind of sounds to me like they're laughing. Or they're going like, woohoo, yeah. Right. They're just all together making a loud noise like that. Okay, so that's what that means in this context. So there's two articles. Go ahead and find those by yourself and label those first. And then we have 5 nouns. So Alex, when you're ready, go ahead and tell us the 5 nouns.
Robin Hood.
Good,
Band.
good,
Stranger.
good.
Moment.
Yes, good. Is that all of them? Oh, there's one more.
Delight.
You're right. Good. With delight. So that is a noun. Very good. And then Natalia, what about the pronoun? There's a pronoun in here. It's plural, I'll tell you that. It's not his, if you're wondering, because that's going to be an adjective because it tells whose band, but it's a different word in here. It's another word in place of like the people in the band. You see it?
Entire.
No, that would be an adjective. It's down here. It's actually them. So instead of saying the band again, the word them is a pronoun. Them. And it's plural. So it means like more than one person there. So All right, so then the adjectives, Jason, there's two adjectives here.
Silently.
That you're thinking adverb. Don't do adverbs yet. We're doing like whose
Sorry.
band. That's okay.
Entire.
There you go. And then there's one more. And whose entire band?
His.
There you go. I think everybody's tired this morning. I feel you guys. I'm feeling it too. All right, we got to just like slap our faces a little bit. We can do this. We can do this, right? Okay. Don't slap too hard though. Adverbs, Ian, where are the adverbs at? Those are the ly words.
Silently,
Okay.
slowly,
Okay, good. Coordinating conjunction, Matt.
Uh, um, hmm.
That would be a fanboy's word.
I don't remember what fanboys stands for.
Okay, anybody want to offer to help Matt here on what the coordinating conjunction is? Go ahead, Natalia. And so those coordinating conjunctions, Matt, remember are for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Those all stand for fanboys. So
All right,
anytime
thank
it's a
you.
connecting word, yeah. Okay. And then we're going to skip prepositional phrases and come back to that. So Alex, where is the who which clause? I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, that is next. Who which?
who silently watched them.
Good. Who silently watched them. W/W. Before we get into the main clauses, I think it will help to know where the verbs are. So let's look for verbs next, Natalia.
Howled,
Good, that's one.
smiled,
Good.
watched,
Yes, good. Let me see, is that all of them? Two. Yes, that's all of them. Good job. And then the subjects that go with them, Jason, how about you do that part? So who howled?
Band.
And this is one of those rare cases where we have two subjects that howled. So do you know what the other subject is that howled?
Robin Hood.
Yes. So we've got, because it says Robin Hood and his entire band, both of those subjects howled. So then here for in the clause, who watched?
It was who, right?
Who? Yep. That's always the subject. You're right about that. And then outside of that clause, who smiled? This verb.
Stranger.
Yes, good. So before the clause, you'll see stranger, smile, slowly smiled. Very good. Now that we have the subject verb pairs, it's a little easier to find those main clauses. So Ian, look for the main clauses. They all have a subject verb pair in them. You're muted. Okay, there you go.
Robin Hood and his entire band howled.
Keep going. With delight.
With delight.
There you go. Did you guys notice this first word? It's bugging me. Let's fix it really quick. It shouldn't be than Robin Hood.
THEN.
Yes, thank you. THEN. Then Robin Hood and his entire band howled with delight. That's one main clause. Where's the other main clause, Ian? Let's start with the subject, the stranger. So it's going to start there. And then where does it end?
Smiled.
Good. So we've got the subject stranger all the way to the last verb is Smiled. Very good. Now back to prepositional phrases. So Matt, where are the two prepositional phrases?
Uh,
Look for those words that we don't have a label on yet. That'll be your clue.
With.
With, so what's the phrase?
With delight.
With delight, and then what's the other one?
After a moment.
There you go. You got it. Good job. Now we have two openers, Alex, because we have actually, before we do the openers, let's fix this. There's a comma after delight, but really it should be a period. These should be two separate sentences. So I'm going to remove that comma and put a period here because we have two separate sentences here. Now we have two openers. So Alex, what is the first opener?
Subject.
Yes, which is number
1.
good. So one subject, good. And then what's the next opener?
The prepositional.
Good, which is number
2.
yeah, you got it. You can just put prep. Awesome. Indent, we already know what to do for that. Just draw a paragraph symbol right here at the beginning. Capitals, Natalia, where did all the capitals go?
Then Robin Hood,
Good,
and after.
good. Commas, we already took care of one. What's the other comma rule, Jason? Put one in or take one out?
I'll need to take one out, I think.
Yes, which one?
At the beginning-ish, after hood.
After Robin Hood, yep. Take that one out because it's only it's only listing two nouns here, Robin Hood and his entire band. That's correct. Two end marks, we already have one. We'll put the other one there, and then we already fixed the usage, which was then. Okay, so remember, when you're doing your homework, it's okay to jump around this list. Whatever parts that you know, do those first, and then the ones that you're struggling with, wait on those and see if you can figure it out. Okay, you guys. Your homework will be pages 120 or 172, 173, and 174. Any questions about grammar this morning? If not, just shake your head no, so I know you don't have any questions. Okay, thank you. All righty. Let's get out your binders next, and we're working on Amelia Earhart. So go ahead and get out all that you have for that. This week you worked on your second paragraph. We're going to get ready for the third paragraph about her. Okay, so go ahead and get out all that stuff. I noticed a couple of you are still trying to figure out how to label the prepositional opener that is on your checklist. So let's just take a look at your checklist first with your stuff here. Everything else is pretty standard. It's what you've been working on for a while now, but you have your topic clinchers, so don't forget those. Some of you are forgetting to use this checklist. And let me remind you, this is how I grade your homework. Every homework assignment is worth 10 points. That's including grammar. So if you're missing anything, I take off points for that. So make sure that you're using this checklist for everything. But you'll notice here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dress ups. You should have 6 words underlined in each paragraph. Okay. And then you have this new opener right here. And this is supposed to be labeled with a number 2 and a bracket. So I wondered if, Natalia, do you mind if I share your paragraphs that you worked on? So, because you did it correctly, I kind of want to show what it looks like.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay, thank you. So let me share Natalia's really quick. This is what I'm looking for. Some of you are still not doing it right. So I want to make sure to show you what it should look like. Okay. And I haven't graded hers yet, which I will. But here's her first paragraph. Right away, you can see that she has Amelia Earhart in bold. Those are her topic clincher words. She has them here at the end as well, and that's fine. That's 2 words, and they're key words. I don't want you guys to underline is or a or the. Words like that are not keywords. You know that. So don't highlight those or bold those words. She's also got her 6 dress ups in here, but I want to point out this sentence right here. And do you see the number 2 with a bracket around it? That is how you label that sentence that's a prepositional opener. And she has the word because of. And if you look back on your list of prepositions, because of is a preposition. So you have to start the sentence with a preposition, and then you can add more information. Oops, I highlighted too much. It really only goes to here. Because of her flying, she met Netta Snook. So because of is her preposition. So this is how you label it. I want everybody to see how it's not underlined, it's not highlighted, it's a bracket. That's on your keyboard. And you put a bracket around the number 2. That's how you label your prepositional opener. Does anybody have any questions about that? Okay, I saw your thumbs up, Jason. That's good. All right, so that's what I'm looking for. Good job, Natalia. Jason, go ahead.
Can you return my thing so I can fix it, please?
Yes, no problem. Let me do that really quick. Okay. I usually do my grading. I try to do my grading on Fridays because I have a little bit more time on Fridays, but sometimes it's crazy for me. So sometimes I don't get to it till the weekend, but I will do my best to get those back to you soon. So you can correct anything you need to correct. I always give you guys a second chance, by the way, too. Because if you didn't get a full 10 points, if you got 6 or 7 or 8 points or whatever, you always have another chance to fix it and turn it back in, and then I can adjust your grade. Okay, so if you're shooting for that 10 points, you know, it's okay. You can keep trying until you get it. Okay, now let's talk about paragraph 3. So you do need, from your binders, you need another white piece of paper. So hopefully you have more in the back. If you don't, go ahead and grab like a printer paper or something like that. You're going to have to write teeny tiny if you have printer paper. Try to use one of these. It's way easier. So you're going to need a new white piece of paper. Go ahead and get that. Matt, what are you working on right now?
What you guys are working on.
Okay, so get your paper out. Go ahead and fold it. Hold on a second. Let me figure something out here.
Wait, we're making another one of these?
See, I thought you weren't listening for a second there. Yes, we're making another one of these. So, hold on. Let me fix something really quick on my Zoom call here. Man, I don't know if I can do this. Let's see. Okay, I see that. Jason, thank you. Just pay attention with. Okay. I had to fix something on my Zoom here, but remember, we're folding this like a taco version first, where it's long like this. We've done a bunch of these, so you should remember now. Fold it like this first. And then, yep, you got it, Natalia. Fold it in thirds. You're going to go past the halfway mark. And then the other side goes over that. So you end up with a square like this. Open it back up. We're working on Roman numeral 3 this week. This is our last of the body paragraphs. for this report, and I'll explain more about what I mean by that in just a minute. Give me a thumbs up if you got your paper folded and you're ready. Okay, good. So again, we're going to set this up with A, and this is going to be for Roman numeral 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then we have 1 through 5. Four and 5 are in parentheses here, like that. Okay, so you're going to do that for A, B, C, and D. So go ahead and set that up really quick. I'll give you a minute to do that. Roman numeral 3, this is paragraph 3. I know this seems kind of, the word I think of is tedious. I'm sure you know that word. And it is kind of a pain to set it up, but this is going to really help you organize when you're writing a report about anything. And it really does save you time. I know you probably don't believe me right now because it takes a while to set this up, but it saves you a lot of time in the long run when you have to do a research paper. Jason, did you have something to say?
So after this, I'm out of binder paper. Do you
Okay.
know anything that I can replace it with?
Actually, this is going to be our last one. So you're good. You don't need any more after this.
I don't. Okay.
Yep. Good question. If you ever wanted to use this though, for something else, you can buy this size paper at Walmart. I forget what it's called. It's bigger than legal size, but anyway, what I would recommend if you want to have more handy, if you do a report like for science or history or something else, I would just take one of these with you, and they have them at Walmart. They're not too expensive. And then of course you have your fused outline in the middle here, Roman numeral 3. And then this one is going to be, just double checking here, 1 through 7. Make sure you spread them out a little bit so they're not too scrunched together, so you have plenty of space. When you're done setting those up, give me a thumbs up. Awesome, I see that. Good, okay, good.
I'm not done yet.
Okay, I'll give you a minute. Okay. Okay, so I do want you to go back to the very first one that you did for Roman numeral 1 that has the possible topics listed there. Go back to that page really quick, because that's where we kept our list of possible topics. And you guys wrote about her accomplishments. So we already did early life and accomplishments. I was gonna sneeze and then it went away. I hate that. Does that happen to you guys sometimes? Like, get it out. Okay. Sorry, guys. Hold on a second. I gotta blow. We have 2 topics left here. We have last flight and disappearance, and then we have awards and legacy. So, and we only are doing one more paragraph with a topic like this. So I kind of think we should focus on her last flight and her disappearance, because I think that kind of makes her famous. You know, that was kind of a bizarre thing that happened to her. All of a sudden, nobody knows where she's at. So I see that in Natalia. And then if you want to include some facts from these paragraphs too, you can kind of combine these two. But I think we should focus on her last flight and disappearance for Roman numeral 3. So next to that, let's put her initials, Amelia Earhart. And then I'm just going to put last flight, comma, disappearance. It has two P's in it. Yep, it does. EARANCE. Last flight and disappearance. So you guys know how to do this now. We've been doing a lot of these. So you're going to get out your source text A to go with keyword outline A. That's going to be this one on page 143 called Amelia Earhart, A Sensation. That's on 143. This is A. And then you're going to skip to the paragraph on the back. So technically we're going to be on page 144. And this is when I'm going to go ahead and read it. We're going to follow through these steps again. I'm going to give you some time to build the outline here. I'm going to actually help you get this outline done pretty quickly today so that you are ready for your third paragraph. Okay, so writing, everybody ready, by the way? You want me to read? Okay. Riding on the confidence of success. So by the way, we're going to focus on her last flight and her disappearance. So there might be some extra information in here, but we really need to focus on those topics of her last flight and disappearance. Earhart set out to accomplish her dream to be the first woman to circumnavigate the globe in a plane. We already have that information. I'm not going to underline that. In the attempt to do this, Amelia and her navigator, Fred Noonan, flew from Oakland, California to Miami, Florida, headed for Africa, and landed in Lae, New Guinea, which is in the South Pacific just below the equator. We already have that information, so I'm going to keep going. From Lae, they began flying toward Howland Island. All seemed to be going according to plan. Unexpectedly, Earhart lost contact with the U.S. Coast Guard midway to Howland Island. I'm going to underline that. Now we're talking about what happened here. So she lost contact, which means I guess they had radios that they could radio in to someone who was on the land. And all of a sudden it's like she's not answering. So they lost contact. It was the last time contact was made. And to our knowledge, Earhart and Noonan never made it to Howland. So I'm going to underline that part too. They never made it to Howland to their knowledge. U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt ordered a 2-week search for them. I'm going to underline the president, 2-week search for them. Although the official word is that Earhart and Noonan were lost at sea, the public has other ideas, such as the Gardner Island hypothesis. So this is when we're going to start going into conspiracy theories. So they don't really know, but they have some people who thought they knew, and so they started talking about what they thought happened to them. So I'm just
I
gonna
like conspiracy theories.
You do? Some of them are pretty crazy. I mean, some of them are really crazy, but some of them are interesting, like they could be true. So conspiracy theory is basically what someone thinks is happening, and they may have proof of it too, but it's not like common knowledge sometimes, conspiracy theories like that. For instance, Bigfoot, right? You probably like to read about Bigfoot, huh, Ian? Bigfoot, Loch Ness Monster.
They're not real, but
Well, but they're conspiracy. Some people would say they're real. See, and aliens and all that stuff, some people really swear that they've actually seen it. I have really seen it. I really saw it. And so it's like, did you though? Were you dreaming? Did you have one too many chili dogs last night? It's like, what are you seeing? Okay. So I'm going to keep going here. The International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, the TIGAR, I think is how you pronounce the initials there, suggests that Earhart veered 350 miles off course and landed on Gardner Island. So I'm going to underline that. So, and we could underline that. I don't know if I'm going to include it, but I'm going to underline that group, that recovery group. You can include that if you want, but they're the ones that said she veered. So basically something happened and she turned somewhere else, 350 miles off course. At the time, that island was uninhabited. Signs of habitation, such as bones and a woman's shoe, were found. So, see, that's proof someone was there, a woman and a shoe, right? They actually found those things there. So, we don't know if it's her body. This was back in the 30s, and they didn't have the same technology we have now, because now you can kind of check the DNA in the bones and, find out if it was her.
Can't you just get her, like, can't you just get, like, her best friend is like, and, like, bring him over there and, like, hey, yeah, that's Earhart's shoe. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you would think that would work, but shoes are shoes. I mean, some people have the same shoes, but it sounds like it to me. I'm with you, Ian. And so I think I'm going to put uninhabited. I'm going to underline that. And then I'm going to underline bones and a woman's shoe were found. So uninhabited means no one's living there, no people. There's probably animals living there. But it's odd to find human bones and a human shoe. Tigar believes Amelia lived as a castaway before dying. So I think I'll underline that too.
Unless it was like an animal wearing a shoe.
Well, then there's that, right, Ian? I mean,
I mean, I've seen dogs wear rain boots before, so
that's really cute. It's funny how they pick up their feet really high when they wear this. It's cute. So it says, to this day, speculation continues, conspiracy theories abound. Earhart's plane has never been recovered. I'm just going to underline that last part. So I have too much underlined here, but that's okay. So from here, I'm going to kind of pick my favorites of the information we read about, and then we're going to start transferring. So I'm going to give you guys a minute to transfer your facts here, and I'm going to do it too. So if you want to use what I have or make up your own, that's okay with me, but we're going to start building this outline now. So I'll give you a minute to work on that. Okay, I'm just going to share this with you really quick. So I put where they were flying from Ley, New Guinea. These are names of places, so I'm not too concerned about having more than 3 words here. And then I put lost contact. The W with a slash for me means with. So lost contact with US and then Coast Guard. I'm counting as one because it's the name of that branch of military. I'm okay if you want to copy what I have here, or if you have a different way to put it, I'm okay with that too. I'm going to put President Franklin D. Roosevelt. I want to put his whole name, but we're going to count it as one word because it's a person. I'm just going to put Pres Franklin D. Roosevelt. And I'm going to put to WK for week, and then search. Sorry, I gotta blow my nose again, doggone it. Hold on. Um, let's see for the, I feel like I got to put a little bit more. I think I'm going to call this a theory right here, where they think she veered 350 miles off course. I'm going to call that a theory, even though it came from the International Group for Historic Aircraft Recovery, because it suggests that. So they don't really know. It's still a theory. So I'm going to put the word theory. And then veered 350. And then I'm just going to put MI for miles. And then Gardner Island. And then I'm going to mention, I know I have 5 here. You don't have to have 5, but I think this is good stuff. They found bones in a woman's shoe. I'm just going to put found bones and shoe for my last one. You guys can copy that if you want. I'm okay with that. Or if you want to put it your own way. So this means I've got where they were traveling, and then they lost contact, and then they did a 2-week search, and then the theory, and then why they think that theory might be true, because they found these bones, women's bones. Could draw a little like stick figure with a dress on. Anyway, you get the idea. Thumbs up when you're done putting down information under A. Did you guys get those down? Okay, good. Give you a couple minutes for a couple of you. The rest of you, if you're done, go ahead and find source text B. Okay, I see that. Good. We're going to do the same thing. I'll help you guys with this. So now that we have this information, the goal is to find different information. So as we're looking at source text B, go ahead, by the way, and next to Roman numeral 3, we're going to put that again, AE, last flight, disappearance. We're going to try to see if we can find some different information in source text B. It's going to start right here at the bottom of 145. This is the astounding Amelia. And it starts here, but it goes on the back too. So we'll read that together. Actually, does anybody feel like reading it? You guys feel like reading this, or do you want, I can read it? Anybody feel like reading? No? Okay. I'll read. Right here where it starts with, she was an excellent pilot. She was an excellent pilot. Earhart took off to circumnavigate the globe in 1937. We already know that. If accomplished, she would be the first woman to fly around the world. We know that. Accompanying her was Fred Noonan, her navigator. We already mentioned him, right? Noonan? I think we did. Okay, maybe not. If you haven't mentioned him yet, that might be something you want to put in your outline. I think with Natalia's, I saw it in your paragraph number 2, which is good because we did talk about that a little bit. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. The pair had almost completed the quest when they stopped in Lae, New Guinea. From there, they took off towards Howland Island. We already have that. Before they made it, they lost contact with the Itasca, a U.S. Coast Guard cutter. By the way, a cutter is a type of ship in the military. And this particular ship was named Itasca. And so that's something new that we didn't have before. So I'm going to underline lost contact, Itasca, a U.S. Coast Guard cutter. That's a ship. So it was out in the ocean when they were talking to each other over the radio. So lost contact. U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt ordered the U.S. Navy and Coast Guard to search for the missing flyers and aircraft. We already have that information. Eventually, Earhart and Noonan were declared lost at sea, but some believe that Earhart improvised. Finding the aircraft low on fuel, did she head for a new place to land? I'm going to underline that because this is a theory. Maybe she ran out of gas and she had to find somewhere to get gas. They do that sometimes, I mean, nowadays they plan ahead and they don't have that problem, but according to one theory, she landed on the Marshall Islands. I'm going to underline that. Once there, the Japanese took her hostage as a spy and transported her to Saipan, where she died. Okay, so this is total conspiracy here, but we'll underline that. Where she died. So they're thinking she got basically kidnapped, taken hostage. Marshallese witnesses came forward saying that they saw Earhart's plane crash, but the preeminent pilot's disappearance remains shrouded in mystery to this day. Meaning they don't know. They still don't know. Marshallese eyewitnesses came forward. I'm going to underline that part that they saw her plane crash. Okay. Marshallese. I'm going to look that up really quick. I think that is military. Does anybody know what Marshallese is? Me either. So let's look it up.
Did you
Marshallese.
know you can still visit the Titanic?
I did hear about that. And it's still underwater, right? Mm-hmm. Marshallese is a native or inhabitant of the Marshall Islands. That would be like, we are Californians because we live in California. They're Marshallese because they live on the Marshall Islands. Okay, now we know what that means. I thought it meant like marshal, like military marshal, but anyway, that makes sense. So, and now that I think about it, if you haven't mentioned this guy Noonan, I'm going to go back to the front here and underline Fred Noonan, her navigator. I'm actually going to include that because I just in case we want to make sure we have that somewhere. So here we go. You're going to work on yours. If you want to copy mine, you can. If you have your own ideas, go for it. Okay. I'm going to mention this guy, Fred Noonan.
What if the navigator did some?
Right? That could be a theory. Yeah.
I mean, some tells me that he could have very easily just turned off the communicator.
Yeah, that's definitely a mystery. What if he just, yeah, that's a good one.
But why would he do that?
Yeah, good question. These are really
He's
good.
like, let's all die. Sounds like a good idea.
Out of jealousy.
But maybe he survived and maybe he murdered her. Whoa. You guys ever heard of the show called Unsolved Mysteries? Sometimes I like watching
I
that
think
show.
so.
Yeah.
But they're real things that nobody really knows really what happened, but strange stuff like this. So
So
go ahead.
if the navigator has enough skill, though, I'm sure that if the navigator would be flying with someone like Amelia, then he would definitely have some kind of experience with the plane.
You would think. I'm going to put theory low fuel. And then Marshall Islands. That's where the Japanese, I guess the Marshall Islands is part of Japan. And I'm going to put Japanese hostage. Meaning they took her hostage. Here, I'll put AE right here so we know it's her that they took hostage. Oh. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna put Marshallese. Now we know what those are. Those are the people that live there on that island. I'm gonna put 2 eyeballs here. Saw plane crash. You would think, okay, if they saw the plane crash, well, why didn't they, call 911 and get some people over there and make sure she's okay, or find out if she was there or if she died, or, I mean, I don't know if I believe this theory.
In 1937, it would be a little tricky to call 911 from anywhere, I would think.
They must have had some kind of emergency system in place, though. I mean, yeah, you're right. It probably wasn't a
What if it broke on the plane?
What if what broke on the plane?
The emergency system.
Oh.
Or was it just like it's like clipped to your shirt or something?
Something happened where they lost contact and we don't know what happened there, but you're right. Maybe something broke.
We
All
shall
right, I'm
never
gonna
know.
stop there. What was that, Jason?
We will never know.
We will never know. I'm sure there's a movie or a documentary about her out there somewhere. Probably.
Maybe when it's like 50 something, the year 5029, they're gonna like search out drones for her plane.
You think the plane wouldn't disintegrate by then? Seems like it would be gone, long gone by then. We'll be long gone by then. How are we gonna know, Ian?
I don't know.
I'm on Source Tech C. This one's Amelia Earhart, her impact on aviation, page 147. It's going to start here at the very bottom. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. All of these were fine accomplishments for Earhart in her flying machine. Her ultimate dream, however, was to be the first aviatrix to circumnavigate the globe. Just another word for aviator. Navigator Fred Noonan, we already mentioned him, flew with her in 1937, and together they took off, heading west to east from California to New Guinea. Their next leg was from Lae, New Guinea to Howland. We got all that. A small coral atoll between Lae and Hawaii. I think that just means like in the ocean, coral. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully there's more stuff on the back. And here's a picture of her. During the flight, the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Itasca lost contact with Earhart and Noonan. They didn't get to Howland. Before finally declaring them lost at sea, Franklin D. Roosevelt launched a rescue operation that lasted 2 weeks. The widely held belief is that Earhart crashed in the ocean and sank to the bottom. Okay, that one's a different theory. Crashed in the ocean and sank to the bottom. However, sonar and underwater robots have searched near Howland and have found no wreckage to indicate that Earhart's plane ditched in the sea. I'm going to underline sonar and underwater robots have searched. No wreckage. We didn't find a whole lot new on this one. So for C, go ahead and put the topic AE, last flight, disappearance. And Matt, are you writing all this stuff down? Okay. Widely held belief that Earhart crashed in the ocean and sank to the bottom. So this is, I'm just going to call it another theory. Crashed ocean. And then I'm just going to do like a water symbol and then like a floor, like crashed at the bottom. If you want to draw a little plane in there, you can. And then I'm going to put sonar, comma, robots, search. The last one I'll just put no wreckage found. You can copy that if you want or put it your own way. This one didn't have a whole lot, so there you go. You got your 3 at least. Got to have at least 3. All right. Yes, Ian, did you have a question? Or are you just making faces? Okay. Your homework this week, because we're out of time. I'll put that there for a second. You're going to read D by yourself. Look for the paragraph that you labeled last flight and disappearance. And then you'll look for information about that last flight and disappearance and fill out D. And then now that you know how to do this fused, you're going to fill out the fused outline. Remember, the Roman numeral 3, we already have that information. You just have to write it in last flight and disappearance. And then you're going to use this to write your 3rd paragraph. So pull information as you're looking at your ABCD. It's really important that you think of a logical order for this. Don't do random theories out of order. You got to talk about, it makes sense to mention here where they were flying, maybe then who she was flying with, and then that they lost contact, right? So there's a logical order on how you will tell this part of the paragraph. Does that make sense to you guys? So try not to mix them up so it's random. You want to make sure it starts with a logical order of what happened, and then you can go into the different theories at the end here. All right, you guys. So your job is to finish the fused, and write your 3rd paragraph, and then I will see you next week. Don't forget your checklist. Use that too. Bye, you guys. Have a good one.